So, guys, couple of days ago, something very interesting happened. General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi formally withdrawn the allegation that he made against the former Police Minister Bheki Cele that Bheki Cele received money from Vusimusi Nhlanhla with Amanyala. So, according to this article that was released by SABC a couple of days ago, it says that evidence leader advocate Norman Arendse has informed Parliament's ad hoc committee that he received a notification of withdrawal of an allegation about former Police Minister Bheki Cele. According to Arendse, KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has withdrawn his allegation that Cele received money from Vusimusi Nhlanhla. The committee is investigating allegations raised by Mkhwanazi about corruption and political interference in the criminal justice system. Arendse said the notification explained that the team that was working on data analysis got the bank account details wrong and it was not a reference to Bheki Cele. So, according to me, guys, it sounds like an honest mistake, and it sounds like a mistake that was made by the people that was analyzing the data and not General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi per se. But because he's the one that has actually presented the evidence, he still has to take accountability, which is something that he has actually done.
Paragraphs 86 and 87.
Page 33.
Yeah, and paragraph 86 in particular of your statement, your sworn statement.
Yes.
And you'll see there it reads, before this ad hoc committee, Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi alleged that I had been directly linked to a suspicious transfer from Mr. Nhlanhla. It is alleged that I sent Nhlanhla a bank account number that was not in my name, but that of a third party, and that Mr. Nhlanhla subsequently deposited money into that account and later sent me the proof of payment, and that I acknowledge receipt of such payment. This communication is said to date back to 2024. And then your response was, I have not seen the text messages that were referred to by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, and I confirm that I do not send any text messages and that I did not send any bank account details, whether belonging to me or a third party, to Mr. Nhlanhla. I can also confirm that I've never received any payment from Mr. Nhlanhla, whether directly or through a third party. Now, you don't need to respond because just before we adjourned, we received a text message and subsequently we had a short conversation with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi in which he says that this allegation is withdrawn.
Okay.
The team, and you probably know better than us, that was working on the analysis got the bank account number wrong, and that it's not a reference to you, so the allegation is withdrawn with due apologies from Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi for any inconvenience or hurt caused.
Okay. So it looks like this notification that General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has sent the evidence leader there in Parliament is not enough, because some members of Parliament, they want General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to come back and explain how could he say that Bheki Cele received money whereas Bheki Cele didn't receive any money. So the ad hoc committee wants Mkhwanazi to return and explain his retraction regarding alleged payment from Nhlanhla to Bheki Cele. The ad hoc committee probing police corruption wants KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to return to Parliament to explain how he got his facts wrong regarding payments allegedly made to Bheki Cele by Vusimusi Nhlanhla. So they are not happy with that explanation that was provided, that the people that were working with the data, the people that were analyzing the data, they actually got the bank accounts wrong, and the reference, it was not Bheki Cele. They are not happy with that. They want him to come so that they can humiliate him. Mkhwanazi, during his 2 day of his testimony, stated that Cele sent murder accused Nhlanhla his banking details, not in Cele's name, and deposited the money into the account. But on Thursday, Mkhwanazi informed evidence leader advocate Norman Arendse that he got it wrong and retracted his submission. 2 weeks ago, Mkhwanazi told the committee that Cele and Nhlanhla links were not just about phone calls but about money. He went on to call the link the criminal. But during Cele's testimony on Thursday, Arendse informed the committee on Mkhwanazi's about 10. Quote, just before we adjourn, we received a message from Bheki Cele. This is what the general Norman Arendse has basically just said. But there is one person that is out for vengeance, and this person is the leader of the National Colored Congress, Mr. Fadiel Adams. You remember that Mr. Fadiel Adams was also exposed by General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to have been in possession of some of sensitive information. So Fadiel Adams has actually went to the police station. He went to the police station and he is laying a perjury charge against KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi for basically lying about Bheki Cele in Parliament. So this guy is taking full advantage of General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi apologizing and retracting what he said about Bheki Cele.
What charges did you lay against Mkhwanazi?
I've asked for a charge of perjury to be laid against the Honourable General because the General came into Parliament and lied under oath. He sends a WhatsApp message, SMS. This is not a WhatsApp group. This is Parliament. You're not allowed to lie here, even if you are the...
But guys, first of all, don't you find it a bit strange that General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi accused Fadiel Adams of being in possession of sensitive information, and Fadiel Adams didn't do anything about it? But now we see Fadiel Adams go into police station to lay a perjury charge against Police Commissioner General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, whereas the man that was accused, who is Bheki Cele, hasn't done any of that. And I guess this is the reason why Fadiel Adams is receiving a bit of a backlash to say, why are you the one at the police station opening this perjury charge against General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, whereas Bheki Cele has actually understood the error that was made. But guys, this is politics. And
what charges did you lay against Mkhwanazi?
I've asked for a charge of perjury to be laid against the Honourable General because the General came into Parliament and lied under oath. He sends a WhatsApp message, SMS. This is not a WhatsApp group. This is Parliament. You're not allowed to lie here, even if you are the Honourable General. But my issue with Mkhwanazi is since the day of that infamous press conference, this man has not offered an ounce of evidence. It's just allegations, left, right, centre, and the country is lapping it up. Now, if the man has lied under oath, what credibility does his testimony have? And people must remember that the defending team must still come and testify. Mkhwanazi must not take South Africa for a joke. Not all of us are blind. Some of us know why he called that press conference on the 6th. And some of us are willing to tell the truth. Ultimately, this man appears to be fighting crime, but he's covering up for the corrupt. Mkhwanazi must understand, there's big trouble coming.
Fadil also...
Is that a threat, guys? Is that a threat? That there's something big that is coming? Is that a threat? And to be fair to Fadiel Adams, he is actually got a point, because if this retraction was made by somebody else, we would be calling that person a liar, and we would be talking about the credibility of the things that he has said in Parliament. And on this point, on this specific point, Fadiel Adams actually got a point that if you're going to say something in Parliament and later retract that thing, don't be surprised when some of us start to question your credibility. Don't be surprised. And I think because South Africans are so biased towards the General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, nobody is willing to say. But since the General has actually said this about Bheki Cele, what is it that he said again that potentially could be retracted in the future? Because this is how anybody would actually be given, anybody else would be given the same treatment that he's getting now. And I actually feel, personally, I feel that Fadiel Adams is just blowing this thing out of proportion, and he's He's going against General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi because he has never been the same after the 6th of July. That press conference that the general has made, he has never been the same after he was exposed by the general because he had that kind of information. And I understand that for him, it is personal, but still, guys, if you're going to go to Parliament and you're going to say something that you're going to later retract, we have to look into everything that you said and say, how credible is everything that you have actually said?
There was an allegation made against you with pertaining the classified information that you had access to. Mkhwanazi saying that you were not supposed to have that, access to that. Have you had any communication from the Nhlanhla Commission of Inquiry in terms of appearing there? I know that there's no specifics yet when it comes to Parliament's ad hoc committee.
I have received communication from Nhlanhla. I have informed them that I cannot make a submission until General Khumalo, who is the subject of my investigation, has testified. Remember, he apparently got sick a day into testimony. So I can't say anything until I hear what he's got to say. But Mkhwanazi has an...
But it does not make any sense. Why can't you just go to Nhlanhla Commission and speak the truth? Because the truth is the truth. If you know what you have is the truth, you won't need General Khumalo to testify before you testify. And I still do not understand why do you need the General Khumalo to testify before you testify. If what you have is the truth will always stand out. Why can't you just go to Nhlanhla Commission? I think this is just a delay tactic. I feel like this is a delay tactic from Fadiel Adams.
Can't say anything until I hear what he's got to say. But Mkhwanazi has an issue with me having obtained top secret information. He's talking top secret information in Nhlanhla, in commission, without having the relevant security clearance. Africa understand, your provincial commissioner does not have top secret classification, which means he's not supposed to receive top secret classified documents, which means he can't dispense a budget properly, he can't work out a strategy properly, he can't give directive properly because he doesn't have access to top secret information. Or does he? Is he guilty of the same thing he's accusing me of? This man's a walking contradiction, and Fadiel Adams is coming.
Just a last question to you. It appeared from the former Police Minister Bheki Cele's response in the ad hoc committee that he was fine with the retraction of that came from Mkhwanazi, the apology with regards to that. Just in that light, are you still ventured to the police station while it appeared as if the former police minister he made a mistake, and I'm fine with that?
Of course Bheki Cele is going to cover up for Mkhwanazi. Of course he is. Look, these guys know lots about each other without me saying anything. Of course he's going to try and smother this thing right there. I'm not going to. Bheki Cele is not Parliament. Fadiel Adams is not Parliament. You do not come and lie to Parliament and think you can get away with it. Bheki Cele, in my view, is a big part of the reason why I can't get an immediate case number right here, because the computers are down. Remember, Mkhwanazi admitted to Parliament that crime intelligence bought a Lamborghini. That's against supply chain management policy. It's against every policy. Did he lay a charge? The general is aware of criminality in crime intelligence. Does he lay charges? No, he holds on to the information for years. This is.
I mean, it is so strange that Fadiel Adams would actually not accuse the General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi of not laying crimes, because if he's there at the police station to lay a perjury case against General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, why can't he do the same with the Senzo Mchunu? Because if General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi lied in Parliament, Senzo Mchunu lied too in Parliament. So why are you only laying a case against General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi and not laying a charge against Senzo Mchunu? Because Senzo Mchunu also lied about knowing Brown Mkhotsi, and he lied in Parliament. You remember in March, he basically laughed and said that, no man, there are people that are walking around claiming to know us, but we really have to be careful of some of these people. And I was shown the picture of Brown Mkhotsi, and I did say that I don't know this gentleman, only for Minister Senzo Mchunu to come back to say that, no, I know Brown Mkhotsi, but this guy is not an associate of mine, he is just a comrade. I know this person. So if you're gonna lay perjury charges against people for lying in Parliament, why can't you do that for everybody that has lied? Because now the only reason why we are saying it looks like you are there because you want to revenge on General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is because you are also being inconsistent. You are accusing the general of being inconsistent, but then you are also being inconsistent.
Welcome back. Member of Parliament Fadiel Adams has laid perjury charges against the KZN Police Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Mkhwanazi retracted the allegations he made before the ad hoc committee against the former Police Minister Bheki Cele that he received money from Vusmuzi Ket Matlala, or that there possibly was an indication that there was an exchange of money. Mkhwanazi later withdrew the statement and apologized. However, some members of Parliament demanded that he return to the committee and formally retract his sworn statement. Fadiel Adams is a member of Parliament and a leader of the National Coloured Congress and joins us now via Zoom. Fadiel, thank you so much for making time for us. Good evening.
Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to clear the air.
Why have you decided to go ahead and lay these perjury charges against the KZN Commissioner? Some will argue that he's already taken accountability and apologized.
Yeah, well, it's not a domino club. This is Parliament. You've got the time to think about your statement. You actually put pen to paper. You speak to the Parliamentary legal team that is going to do the inquest. And then you come and give oral testimony. The man had 4 or 5 times to think about it and say, no, this may not be true. But he went out and said it anyway. This is Parliament. You don't come here with half-baked stories, even if you are General Mkhwanazi.
My understanding is that there are some MPs that have directed that he come and appear before the ad hoc committee so that he can officially withdraw the statement he made. They were not satisfied with a text message or a call that he made to the evidence leader. So far, it doesn't seem like he has issues with that. So if he does appear before the committee and officially withdraws that statement he made, do you think the charges then will still stand?
We're not in favor. If you missed a date or small event, that would be okay. You can come back and apologize. You can possibly send an email and say, hold on a second, I can correct this. I was wrong on this point. But this man stood in front of this committee and lied. He's lied and he's thrown mud and he's made allegations against people and he's brought absolutely no proof with him. So we are taking the hard line with General Mkhwanazi, as he appears to be taking a hard line on everything else. Understand, the General has questioned the credibility of everybody, the judiciary, the NPA, the investigator, the complainant. So the General must take accountability.
Is this personal for you? I mean, the KZN Commissioner has called you out for how he believes you mishandled classified information. This could be seen as revenge from your side and not so much to do with the cleanup in the SAPS as you have suggested.
Let me tell you on the record, I can't hold a grudge. But this is not about me. This is much bigger than me. This is bigger than all of us. This is about the total...
Stop lying, man. Stop lying. It's about you. Stop lying. I mean, Fadiel Adams couldn't wait for General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi to make this kind of a mistake. Like, he actually couldn't wait for that. And I'm sure when he heard that General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has withdrawn that allegation that he made against Bheki Cele, Fadiel Adams didn't even sleep that night. He was so happy to say, yes, got him. Got him. This general has been casting doubt on everybody's credibility. Now it is him. Got him. It is about him. It is about him. This is a personal for Fadiel Adams. Everybody that has been following this case, especially with Fadiel Adams, he knows that we know how personal this is for him.
Control of the South African Police Services, and we believe that there is a band of criminals that is running the South African Police Services, and we stand in defense of the boys in blue.
Will you be testifying before the commission, especially given that you have information that was leaked to you about the behavior of crime intelligence officers?
It would be highly suspicious if I was not called to this commission, because I've got things to say, and I can back up what I say. I'm not coming here like an honorable general making allegations dressed in camouflage. I'm coming here to tell the truth, and I've got documentation to prove a lot of what I say. The commission will make its own findings. I'm not here to influence it. I've been relatively quiet on the issue, but General Mkhwanazi has raised more questions than answers. And let me tell you what I think, if you'll allow me. He called that press conference on the 6th of June and he made 3 big points. The one was the 121 dockets that he alleged that General Sabia had taken unlawfully. He accused General Sabia of leaving it in his office to gather dust. When the pudding was tasted and tested, it became clear that the last time those dockets were handled was in 2022. The dockets, in actual fact, had gathered dust on Mkhwanazi's watch. Number two, the PKTT. He accused the minister of illegally or unlawfully disbanding it. I'm not sure if I'm using the right terminology, but he had a big issue with the disbandment of the PKTT. On the 5th of March, the parliamentary portfolio met. General Khumalo, who is the accused in the cases that I've laid, he is before the courts. He did a presentation, he gave us a slideshow. At round about the 49th minute, he made the admission that we've had only one politically motivated death in KZN this year, i.e., we no longer need this unit, not at a cost of 100 million rand a year. General Mkhwanazi was in that meeting, he did not object. So outslides that allegation as well. If he felt that strongly, here was his chance to say, I disagree. I'm the commander of this unit. This is not how it should be. He was quiet. Point number three, he mentions a certain MP in possession of secret evidence, secret papers, unlawfully, whatever the case might be. That MP was me. He might as well have mentioned my name. I was in possession of classified documentation. I did what I still think was the responsible thing to do. I took it to the...
And the question still stands, how did Fadiel Adams get his hands on that classified information? Because the last time Fadiel Adams tried to explain this thing with this classified information, he said that he saw those papers were somehow slipped down the door of his office in Parliament. This is the explanation that Fadiel Adams gave to everybody else. And we don't believe that explanation. It is bogus, it is nonsensical. Because Fadiel Adams is basically telling South Africans that I don't know who gave me that classified information. Those papers were just swiped down my door in Parliament. And there are CCTV footages all over the Parliament. Why can't you just request a CCTV footage to see who actually gave you that classified information? So you agree that you were in possession of this classified information. It is not the question. The question is, how did you get your hands on that classified information?
Documentation. I did what I still think was the responsible thing to do. I took it to the police station because the law requires me as a lawmaker to go and report any crime that has financial implications of more than 100,000 rand. If Mkhwanazi wants to rewrite the constitution, then he must do so. I complied with the law. He wants me in prison for complying with the law. Now, I tell you this. If these are the 3 points that this man called this press conference on, throw it out the court today already.
Yeah. So, Fadiel, you've mentioned a number of points, though, that I want to respond to. I think the last point I want, because I've heard you on the show and we spoke about the information that you said was leaked to you, and I've asked you lots of questions around how you handle that information. But the first 3 points that you mentioned there, let's start with the last one. You're saying that Dumisani Khumalo did come to Parliament and indicated that there was one political killing in KwaZulu-Natal. But when you look at the work of the political killings task team over the last couple of years, has it or has it not done a good job? Because even the Minister of Police, even Shadrach Sibia that you've just mentioned, has never indicated that the political task team has failed in its duty, especially the duty of going after and investigating the political killings task team. So where in the statement of Dumisani Khumalo did he say that there has been a failure by this task team?
He never said there was a failure. He said that we had one politically motivated killing for the year.
Which probably proves to you that the political killings task team has been successful over the years. Do you know how many politicians were killed in KwaZulu-Natal over the last 6 years? Do you know how many of them have been dying every single year? How many have been dying?
Yes, I do.
How many?
Well, they're sitting with 58 murder dockets right now for the last 5 years, and they've got about 50 convictions for politically motivated killings over the last 5 years. Let me throw this curveball at you. How many kids die on the Cape Flats tonight? 10. What is the budget for the AGU? 7 million rand a year. The anti-gang unit, dealing with 3,000 corpses a year, works for 7 million rand.
I mean, now you are just conflating issues, man. You are just conflating issues.
The political killings task team, working with maybe 3-4 murders a year, gets 100 million rand excluding overtime. In that unit, the average monthly overtime is 40,000 rand a month. They sleep 5-star. They eat 5-star. They ride off vehicles left, right, and center. And you are asking me to compare this with what's going on here.
Okay, Fadiel, please, let's not confuse the listeners here. Not once did I ask you to compare this with what's happening in the Cape Flats. You are the one that just brought in the issue of the Cape Flats. And I absolutely agree with you. It's a mess over there, and that needs to be attended to. In fact, if you, as a member of parliament, think that there needs to be a political killings task team, how about you start motivating for that? Because it is necessary. I'm asking you about
What
the
did the
KwaZulu.
minister say?
I'm
What did the
asking
minister
you.
say?
Hold on.
The minister said, let me quote the minister for you before you go any further.
Okay, you've just
Okay,
made
you
a
go
statement. I need
You go
to
first.
respond to you, right? I'm asking you about the political killing task team. I'm putting it to you that the reason you've had one, as you indicate that it is what Dumisani Khumalo has said, that should be able to prove to you that actually the work that they've been doing is succeeding, because 5 years from where we are right now, the situation was completely different. That is why the president established the political killings inquiry. That is why the chairperson of that inquiry at the end of that long period decided that we probably need a specialized team that can deal with these killings because it was a crisis. You are telling us now that one person was convicted. And I'm suggesting to you that that speaks to the success of the task team, which Shadrach Sibia and even the Minister of Police that you have quoted earlier don't seem to contradict.
You've just made my answer. You just made my argument for me. It was needed. Was being the operative word. If you listen to Khumalo himself, he says that we don't need this task team anymore.
You said he didn't
It's in
say
the
that.
minutes.
You said, I
No,
asked you.
I said IE.
Wait,
You're not
but
listening, sir.
Earlier on, I
Listen,
said to you,
listen,
earlier
I
on, I said to you,
I wish you
where
could play this
in the
back.
statement of Dumisani Khumalo did he say that the political killings task team is not needed? You said he didn't say that.
If you go and check the minutes, maybe I didn't hear you right. He says we've had one killing this year and it's no longer needed. It's there.
So
it's around about the 52nd or 53rd minute. So my question is, why is the PKTT being thrown at us as if it's going to save this country? I'm telling you now that yes, we needed the PKTT. Have they done sterling work? I think they did an okay job. I think they did. We're down to one murder a year. But we've got 58 outstanding dockets. We got 130 people working that at 100 million rand a year. Now, I want to give you context to why I'm so opposed to this. You refuse to listen to the context. I'm telling you that if you come to the Cape Flats, an area the size of Durban, not KZN, we're dealing with 3,000 dead bodies a year. But it doesn't matter because these are colored boys and girls. It doesn't matter. Now, when the minister steps forward and says, I want to give everybody more resources, look at the death toll in the Cape Flats. How can I not support that?
But
then Fadiel Adams should actually be supporting the idea of the political killing task team. Because if political killing task team has actually done such a good job in KZN to a point where only one person was killed, this guy should be advocating for the political killing task team. I don't understand. I'm confused.
that's not the reason the minister has given for actually disbanding the political killing task team. And even if that becomes the reason he gives, there's a process that you follow before you disband anything. Before you even take a decision that this thing is unnecessary, you actually get a report first. Did the minister get a report on the success, the functionality of the political killing task team?
Right there. The minister did say so. You've not been watching the ad hoc. However, on the issue of the disbandment, after listening to the DM today, I'm asking myself, could the minister have handled it better? And I have to say yes. He could have been more consultative, irrespective of the fact that I do agree with him. He should have included the DM. He should have had a longer discussion with the NASCOM. He should not have spoken to Mkhwanazi, because as per protocol, Mkhwanazi must speak to an MEC. He doesn't speak to the minister. That's not how it works.
But that's precisely what has always been the issue with the decision of the minister. Nobody says the minister is wrong for wanting to try and ensure that even in the Cape Flats, you've got specialized units that are able to respond to the crime levels there. If you've been listening and watching the committee, you'll see that the questions have been focused on the process that the minister has followed. That's why even the deputy minister today was asked extensively about the process the minister followed. As you say, he didn't consult extensively. The case has been made that he went and interfered in operational matters of the SAPS. Because as a minister who's a political overseer, you don't just issue an instruction like that. So nobody questions what you're saying, that there's a need for more resources in the Western Cape. The question here is, did the minister act in the right manner? And from what I've heard from you, you agree that he didn't.
No, I'm saying the minister could have done better. I'm sure the minister is adult enough to say I could have done better.
Well, he didn't.
I'm one.
I mean, like, why can't you just say he didn't? Why can't you just say he didn't? Because this is the double standard that Fadiel Adams is showing over here. General Mkhwanazi says that I'm not the one who made the mistake. The people that were working with the data are the ones that actually got the bank accounts wrong. So since I'm the one that has made the public statements, I am going to apologize, despite the fact that I am not the one that has actually made the mistake. But Fadiel Adams says that no, the general has basically lied. You know, this guy is just a liar. Right now, we are talking about Senzo Mkhunu. Did Senzo Mkhunu follow protocol? Senzo Mkhunu did not follow protocol. And Fadiel Adams says that no, he could have done better. He could have done better. He is no longer saying that no, Senzo Mkhunu didn't follow protocol. Like, I do not understand this double standard. This is like, I do not understand this double standard.
100% sure, but I'm giving you my justification and my motivation for my stance on this issue. We cannot, under any circumstances, be spending 100 million rand a year investigating a handful of murders. We can't. The country can't afford it, and I tell you now that the Cape Flat certainly can't.
Fadiel Adams, thank you so much for making time for us. I really appreciate it.
I mean, like, I feel like, man, Fadiel Adams should be advocating for the political killing team, man, like something like that for Western Cape, and there's a Cape Flats of his. I actually feel like that. Instead of trying to make it look like this task team, the establishment of this task team was such a horrible thing. Because this is what he's trying to portray. Like, the establishment of this task team was such a horrible thing. Guys, I don't know, man. What are your thoughts? You know, man, this flu is showing me flames. What are your thoughts, guys? Please do the comment section. Don't forget to hit that like button and the most important part, subscribe. My name is Thomas Mobile, so I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.